And so the best tool that we have is actually not a law, and it's not a particular rule in court. It's real children and real people helping them, coming forward and being willing to share something that is unshareable on so many levels. So I want to thank you for that. The law in criminal cases has changed in the last 10 or 15 years. It has for adult sexual assault victims, and particularly for children. And I think that that's the result of an awareness that the world is different, that people acknowledge that this happens now and are not afraid to address it. 10, 15 years ago, there was a statute of limitations that said if you don't report this, within 5 years, you can't ever bring a prosecution, civil or criminal. But they changed that law in 1996. As you just mentioned, in 2007, 2008, they eliminated the statute of limitations for not all sexual abuse crimes, but for the highest level of them, acknowledging that a child sex abuse situation may be different than somebody who was robbed and may report it right away. Likewise, we have improved how we work on these cases, and everybody who does this knows that we now have child advocacy centers. We have advocacy groups, so that a woman or a child who is going through it or has gone through it doesn't have to just walk into a police precinct where there are guns and other robbers and prisoners and all kinds of things and just say, can somebody help me? I may want to talk about it. You can go to a child advocacy center. You can go to an advocate. You can go to somebody who's not just going to treat you like a name and a number, but someone who's going to listen to what you have to say and not just say, well, do you want to prosecute or not, but say, we can get you into services. We're going to have an expert do a medical examination of you, not just a pediatrician who may not be familiar with this. So the resources, the fact that people have cared, put money into the advocacy, into the child advocacy centers, and change the law so that we can prosecute these cases, that is what has helped us. And I think we serve children who are victims of crimes now and have been victims of crimes in the past much better than we could even a short time ago.
And for those children who are 13 and over, there's the sexual assault forensic examiner programs as well. But have you seen a difference in criminal justice outcome since the establishment of the child advocacy centers and the sexual assault forensic examiner programs in the city?
What I think I have seen, and what we have all seen in the area of sex abuse prosecution, is I think a stronger outcome for the victims. They're still studying whether conviction rates are higher. I think reporting rates have gotten stronger. There's more reporting of it because people feel more comfortable. And again, every time a story is told, someone says, wow, I'm not alone out there. There's got to be there's at least one guy willing to listen. But what I think that this multidisciplinary approach, as we call it, not just interviewing the victims as the police or as a prosecutor, but helping their family, has made the process much more positive or much less traumatic for the victims and their families. People don't want to report because they're afraid what will happen to them, but they also think that the process is going to send them to a mental institution or ignore them or victimize them further. And the more people that work together to help that victim and their family through, the less traumatic it can be.
So, all right, but in the criminal justice system, what would you like to, is there any change you would like to see, progressive change, that would really help you do what you do better?
We continue. Yeah.
The difference between what happened in Onondaga County, where the district attorney stepped forward and said, there's nothing I can do, as compared to what happened in Penn State, for instance.
Well, it wasn't going to be my answer, but I'll give my answer first, and then it corrects me. One remarkable change in the law in the last 10 years. So normally, I don't want to get too lawyerly on you, but generally, if somebody is robbed, they have to be able to say, it happened, January 1st. We have to have some idea of when it happened. And when a child is abused repeatedly, no matter where that may be, and they were aged 7 to 9, when they're 13, 15, 20 and disclose it, they didn't keep a diary of I was abused on Monday. And so it is very difficult to reconstruct what happened to them. And in the old days, if they couldn't pinpoint a time frame,